are restoring a 39-foot wooden ship. This is just like a little introduction of the ship. The ship was derelict for years. Its previous owner took her for repairs to Vätterbuit shipyard, where they replaced her keel and plywood skin. They managed to also get a thin layer of fiberglass on the hull. When the owner rolled around and said that he is out of money, he sold the engine, mast, the metal keel, etc., pretty much everything of value, and told the shipyard that he wants to hear nothing of it anymore. The shipyard took it to a remote area in the countryside, built a roof on it, and left it for the future. Some years later, they put the building and the land that she was standing on for sale and wished to get rid of it. This is where I came in. I had been looking for a hull to work on for a while, had been driving through the island to find one, with no success. On the 3rd of October, my brother found a Facebook post of a wooden sailing boat. Just a tiny wooden boat that's been outside for a while, and seeing maybe I would like to own it, I decided to go look for it. It was like €50. It's around $60. I tried to find that boat myself without contacting the owner. It was outside next to an old Soviet barn. I thought I'll go look at it before I bother him. And as I was searching for it, I ended up in the wrong place. Pretty much all of these Soviet barns looked the same, and I ended up finding the ship that we're going to restore now. As soon as I laid my eyes on it, I knew I had found something great. Keeping it in mind, I got into contact with the owner of the wooden $60 wooden sailing boat that I went to look for originally. And I went to saw it, and it was small, moldy, fully rotten through. It was outside, sitting on its side. Keel was so soft I pushed a stick through it. It did have a metal keel underneath, but it was not worth the effort of getting it out of there, and all the work would have been intensive. Abandoned that plan, went back to the big ship that I found by sheer luck, and also saw a local from a countryside home right next to the site, who informed me that it was indeed in possession of Vätterbuit shipyard, and I should ask them. Following days, I got into contact with them, and they told me that they can give it to me for little money. Hearing this, I went back to assess the ship proper, damaged the motherboard arches and skin and so on. She was missing everything valuable. Even one of the hatches in the bow had been quite forcefully ripped out. All the windows were missing, and part of the middle cabin's rooftop was busted and soft. There was an area of heavy damage in the skin on the port side where the water had gone under the fiberglass and rotted the ply, because on that side the tarp didn't survive. It just broke off. It's also the side which I covered, and constantly just the tarps kept coming off with the wind. I guess the wind entered the ship underneath the roof, so that it just broke that side every time. So I just wanted to check what had happened to it, and but seeing that the motherwood, which is essentially the keel, the wood that goes in the centrally through the frame, the motherwood was in excellent condition. It was yellow. I didn't see any area where it had rotten. Later on, I discovered that they had actually drilled a hole into the bilge so the water would go out, which was a good thing, or else it would have been completely gone. So it was in good. The motherboard was in good condition. The skin, most of the skin was also, the plywood was in good condition. It was great. I expected them to ask a few thousand for it because the hull was just in good shape. Money that I actually did not have. I went off with a little feeling of sadness knowing that I cannot get the ship. You can imagine my surprise that evening when they sent me an email saying that they only want 300 for it, which is about $300, you know. I immediately agreed, and the following day I went to them, signed the paper of sale, cheerfully flew my Volkswagen down back to the ship, put the tarps on her to stop further damage from the elements. The main reason why I got it for so cheap was that they wanted it gone in a month. What followed was a stormy month of me going to check if the tarps were still on and seeing them blown off again and again and again, always raining when I tried to put them back. But as the deadline was nearing, I got the ship ready for transport by removing the roof that was built to cover the ship a few days before the transport was due, and I just tossed the tarps on just roofless ship, got the ship on the truck with no problem, and got the ship on to the little rental area in the town. The trip to the town was also without any issues. Overall, so far, working on the ship itself has been smooth sailing. She seems to bring some luck, ignoring all of the tarp problems. That was just nature being nature. And let's hope that that luck giving continues, and this series is the documented process of her recovery as we save her from oblivion. Stay tuned.